7 men, all found dead along highways in Florida, all shot at close range. At the center of it all was one woman, Aileen Wuornos. But this isn't just a story about murder. It's a story that forces a difficult question. Was she a ruthless killer, or someone shaped by a lifetime of violence? Aileen Wuornos lived a life that, from the beginning, was marked by instability and hardship. Born in 1956, she experienced abandonment at a young age and grew up in an environment filled with abuse and neglect. As she got older, her life became increasingly unstable, leading her to survive on the streets. By the late 1980s, Wuornos was living in Florida, working as a drifter and sex worker, often traveling along highways and relying on strangers for money and transportation. It was during this period that a series of murders began to unfold. Between 1989 and 1990, 7 men were killed. Their bodies were discovered in wooded areas and along remote roads, many of them partially hidden. Each victim had been shot multiple times. At first, the killings appeared unrelated, but as investigators looked closer, similarities began to connect the cases, the locations, the method, and the timeline. It became clear that authorities were searching for a serial killer. The investigation eventually led police to Aileen Wuornos. Key evidence, including witness accounts and pawned belongings from victims, linked her to the crimes. In January 1991, she was arrested. During police questioning, Wuornos confessed to the killings. However, her explanation changed the direction of the case. She claimed that each murder was committed in self-defense. According to Wuornos, the men had either assaulted or threatened her while she was working, and she acted to protect herself. This claim divided both investigators and the public. Some believed her story reflected the dangers she faced living on the streets. Others believed the killings were intentional and driven by robbery. During the trial, prosecutors presented evidence suggesting that Wuornos had robbed several of her victims after killing them. This included personal belongings and items that had been sold or pawned. The prosecution argued that the murders were premeditated. The defense focused on Wuornos's past, her history of abuse, trauma, and the environment she had survived in for years. They argued that her actions were shaped by fear and repeated victimization. Despite these arguments, the court found her guilty. She was sentenced to death. In the years following her conviction, Wuornos gave multiple interviews. Her statements were often inconsistent, at times maintaining her claim of self-defense, and at other times expressing anger and frustration. Her mental state also became a subject of concern during this period. In 2002, Aileen Wuornos was executed by lethal injection. The case of Aileen Wuornos remains one of the most controversial in modern criminal history. It challenges the way we define guilt, responsibility, and justice. Was she a calculated serial killer who targeted victims for personal gain? Or was she a product of years of abuse, acting out of fear and survival? The truth may lie somewhere in between. What makes this case so haunting is not just the crimes themselves, but the questions they leave behind. And even today, those questions remain open.